What is going on, Colts Nation? Here's Jamal, and I'm Eric, your co-host of the Colts Cast.
What I do?
Let's talk Anthony Richardson. Let's talk our boy, man. Because the Colts they've gotten off to a brutal start to the season. I was expecting at least 1-1, like at the very least, especially going into the Packers who started Malik Willis. That's all I wanted. But 2 back-to-back losses. And we got some people, they're blaming Anthony Richardson for the loss.
Disrespectful.
Sure, his most recent outing wasn't stellar. I mean, we're talking about completed 50% of his passes, 17-34, 204 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, 4 carries for 37 yards. Yeah, that's not a great outing. But are we overreacting here? Should we be truly concerned? Jamal, is it time to panic? I think the answer is a resounding no.
Nah, people are tripping. As per usual. People are tripping as per usual. We're going to get into this. We're going to talk about it. Hit that like and subscribe button. Let us know your comments below of how you feel. And if you think that the Colts should not be panicking or to not be blaming Anthony Richardson, hit that like button and let us know. Let us know. Yeah. But Eric, I mean, just to go off what you said, I mean, listen, those is that stat line the best? No, he just said in his press conference here yesterday that, he doesn't so much care about numbers and so on and so forth. He cares about the W column and all that. And I've seen some comments where people are like, you should start caring about numbers, et cetera, et cetera. Well, sure. Let's be real. Everybody does care about numbers at the end of the day. You may not broadcast it, but everyone's very aware of how they play or how they do, how they perform. If you aren't, then most people aren't that successful at their job, and they figure they either get trimmed off or they get rid of themselves. So we'll see what happens with that. But I have zero worries right now for Anthony Richardson, especially because we're at a time where everybody wants instant gratification. We've seen what happened with these teams year over year over year. So many, I shouldn't say so many teams, but there are a few teams who've had quarterbacks who just come in the building, they've excelled, whatever the case is, and people are like, oh, we need that right now. We expect that right now.
Where's my next CJ Stroud?
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, we taking Drake May. Yo, we taking this.
Yeah. This is what happens with rookie quarterbacks. And I know he's not technically a rookie on paper because he had his rookie season, but he was injured. He wasn't there. Right? He still is. In our opinion, he still is a rookie. So this is what we expect.
6 NFL start.
Yeah.
I mean, greener than the dollar bills that are non-existent in my wallet. Like,
was he only carried in Blueface hundreds?
Was he supposed to be Josh Allen right out the gate? Josh Allen wasn't even Josh Allen right out the gate, right?
Exactly. And that's where people kind of lose it. And like, we all want success and we all want to see the happy times, but there's always growing pains with everything. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation.
It's that microwave culture you were just talking about, Jamal. The NFL has gotten to a time now where there's so much importance on the quarterback position. So teams are trading 2 or 3 first-round picks, the Deshaun Watson trade, Trey Lance trade. I mean, the Bryce Young trade. Everybody wants to find their next star quarterback. And we've also gotten to the point where, we immediately start them. Us fans, we wanted to see Anthony Richardson on the field last year. We didn't want to see Gardner Minshew. We're like, yo, this man needs experience. Yo, throw him out on there, get him some reps. What us fans don't realize is he is one of the most rawest quarterbacks to enter the NFL, and with a lot of other quarterbacks the same way. And we criticize them to the bone. And I feel like we've done that too, but it's just like, man, we gotta understand that this guy is 22 years old. He's the youngest starting quarterback in the NFL. He has so much talent, and Shane Steichen just hasn't had the time to put it all together yet. This Rome wasn't built overnight, and I think we've gotten to that stage where, like you said, Jamal, we want instant gratification. We don't want to see Richardson sit behind a veteran for a year. Who wants to see that? We want our star or potential star quarterback to start now. And, that's why Caleb Williams is starting. That's why Jaden Daniels is starting. Drake May is actually sitting, which is probably really good for him. But, like, a lot of great quarterbacks got to sit for a while. Jordan Love, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, the list goes on and on. They got to sit, they got to learn how to dissect these defenses from the sideline on that iPad, talking to that veteran quarterback. I feel like we've been talking a lot about this, but I just feel like there's areas where he can improve on. Like, certainly his accuracy is probably the first thing that jumps out. Better mechanics, we can always improve there. Maybe adding a little bit of touch to his throws so they're not sailing, they're not coming at you like a heat-seeking missile. But we also got to remember, last week wasn't all his fault. Like we talked about this before. There were so many drops. There were so many drops last week. I think I read a stat somewhere where the Colts had the highest drop rate of any team week 2.
I believe it.
Yeah, I believe it too. It was that bad. And this guy's really young. He's got immense talent. He's incredibly gifted as an athlete. Like, we got to give this team time. 6 starts, Jamal. And I really think what's going to open this up is in week 3 when we get Josh Downs back, because I felt like they built that strong rapport last season. You remember when they were throwing from the hotel parking lot, off season, they were trying to get things cooking. And I thought Downs was one of the best players last season. As far as our rookies go, like, he was awesome, and he was our slot guy. But Jamal, I'm gonna say this with 100% confidence. He might be our best receiver. I said 100% confidence, and I said he might.
But, contradicted. No, you're right. The rookie wall is what hurt him. That was it.
That was it. I mean, he might be the best receiver on the team, no cap. Like, I mean, we're talking about Alec Pierce being the wide receiver 1 through 2 weeks. Like, you would never said that last year.
I would know for sure.
Exactly. So what if Josh Downs was in this equation this entire time, week 1 and week 2? How does the offense change? I mean, we talk about not being able to ever sustain drives. I guarantee you that Richardson would love to have his security blanket back. I mean, he's just going to open up the field, boost this offense in the passing game where we've kind of struggled. It'll keep the defense more honest, like on first and second downs. You ain't got to stack the boxes. JT route the run. I think Josh Downs just makes life easier for Anthony Richardson, right?
Yeah, he really does. I mean, that full wide receiver room now can just really elevate the team for Richardson to make his life a whole lot easier. But, and not even to change gears from Richardson, because I think that there's another aspect of this game that is what's holding up Richardson. It's the fact that this is the number 39 minutes and 49 seconds. 39 minutes and 49 seconds out of 120 minutes the Colts have had the ball on offense. So 1/3 of the time they've had the ball on offense. We're expecting greatness from someone who's only had 1/3 of the time on the field. The numbers just don't add up. I mean, there's only a few players, Mahomes being probably the few, who can say with that 1/3 of a time, you're like, I'm not worried about it. I know he'll figure it out. I don't think Josh Allen's going to figure out every time. I don't think Lamar is going to figure out every time. I think that Mahomes are going to be the only people who figure it out if they have the ball for 1/3 of the season or 1/3 of a game. So I think that's one of the biggest things. I mean, we're expecting him to go in there and play like he has just had seasons upon seasons upon seasons of comeback games, of just controlling the field. Well, that's just not the thing. We're also setting him up in situations where we are playing from behind every single game. Like, I know there's only been 2 games. We've played from behind, though, on these games where we haven't had any kind of control on the offense side of the ball. It's been out of control on the defense side of the ball. So these guys haven't even had a chance to make these small dump plays, or to let other plays develop the way they are, because they're like, well, call it what you want, but we know we're not going to have too many opportunities. Whether that be because they're not getting it on first and second down, so it's drawing up a 3 and out, or B, the ball sailing, the ball zipping out too hard, so they're not getting a chance to really let the drives develop and get bigger and better, because we're trying to think of, we got to get to the goal line as quickly as we can, because we know that we're not going to get 2 minutes next time we get the ball. So I think that's another one that plays a big role for us. And Richardson's going to learn. He's going to figure out how to thrive better. And I think given the opportunity, or given to play from ahead, or I think that the game script completely changes to a completely different way, to where Richardson can control the ball. He can control the field. Now,
that's a good point.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna sit here and give Richardson a free pass on the mechanics and on the action and all that stuff, because I think that he throws a laser ball, and I think that there's plenty of times where you don't need to zip when someone's only 4.5 yards away because it hits him way too fast. So let's be clear about that. I think that he has a lot to work on in that field right there. But again, I think that when the pressure is on and when the time is behind you and you realize that you have to get down the field and score, that sense of urgency is something that's different for someone like him who doesn't have all of the wheels in play right now to say, take a step back, relax. We can march downfield and we can do what we got to do. So that comes with time. Anybody who's new at their job, they're not going to be efficient. They're going to be all over the place. So they have to figure out a way to be the most efficient and elevate themselves to that. And I think that Richardson will figure that out, but we got to help him out by giving him the opportunities on the offense side of the ball and the defense side of the ball to not be playing from behind and give him the best coaching out there. So young guy, 22 years old, don't blame him for what we got going on. It will come with time. And we can have this we can revisit this conversation at the end of the season had it not changed and gotten a little better for us.
Yeah, I mean, young NFL players, they're almost expected to struggle. They shouldn't come out the gate and be a top 5 player in the NFL at their position. It just doesn't work like that. Now, I truly believe the Indianapolis Colts should have won last week. That was unacceptable, practically unforgivable, but
should have won the past 2 weeks, but yeah,
that too. But a little harder matchup against the Texans, but I think going into the Packers, we knew what was going to happen. They still ran circles around us. But again, Anthony Richardson, I think he's going to get a year or two to figure it out. He's definitely going to get a longer leash than Bryce Young. Again, tied to Chris Ballard, tied to Shane Steichen. We're going to have some time to develop this guy. So look, even if it's poor play next week, I think he has to commit some of these errors to figure it all out. So I don't think he just gets worse and worse over time. I think he'll get better. Anthony Richardson, from what I can see from on TV, he has a really strong work ethic. He wants to do things right. He gets super mad at himself when he doesn't. Even when his, receivers drop the ball, he's mad at himself. That's what I want to see. He's got heart, man.
Yeah. And I think that time will tell. He's gonna progress. He's gonna get better. Steichen's gonna have more time to work and develop with him. And these are, again, they're just growing pains. It's gonna be bitter. It's always easy to play this game whenever we get an L off of something we feel like we should have won. We can nitpick every single little individual thing. Again, I'm not giving an excuse for a 50% completion rate or a 49% completion rate, whatever the case is. But when you're in a dogfight every single time, mistakes are inevitable. They're going to happen, whether you want them to or not. And a lot of times that can be, the straw that breaks the camel's back. So he'll bounce back. He'll figure it out. And watch, if we get a chance to maintain a sustainable lead this game, you'll see a different side. If we get that opportunity, you'll see a different side for sure.
Yeah, I think the 2 highest priorities this season is, one, Anthony Richardson needs to stay healthy. I hope it's all 17 weeks. But he does not need to go down with another season and an injury. He needs to be healthy. We need to be able to evaluate him. He needs the reps in. He needs the games. He needs everything. So he needs to be on the field. And the second one for the Colts is just continue developing Richardson. I mean, even if playoffs aren't even in scope, we need to get the most out of Richardson. The most juice for the squeeze. That's how I look at it. As far as 2 highest priorities this season, we've already started off 0-2. It's getting, we're kind of creeping away from okay, we'll be in the playoffs. We might be able to make a little run. I really think we need to gear towards how can we develop Anthony Richardson to be a top 5, top 10 quarterback in the NFL in the foreseeable future. That's how I'm looking at it. And then you start adding pieces and more pieces around, and it all comes together. It's a cohesive offense, yada, yada.
Life's good.
Life's great. If that all happens.
Yeah. It all starts on Sunday. We're going to see.
Yeah. So we'll see. That's going to be it for us, everyone. Let us know what you think in the comments. Should we blame Anthony Richardson? Should we not? Who to blame? Let us know Thank you for listening to the Colts Cast. We're live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or any platform you use to listen to the podcast. We'll be back next time to give you some more Indianapolis Colts content. Y'all take care.
Take it easy.